Aibovan, Vanakkam. I'm Vayoni Dimel. This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. This is a special news edition. It is better by far to light a solitary candle than to curse the darkness is the motto of the Candle Aid organization that was founded in 1995 by Captain Elmo Jayawardena, a Sri Lankan pilot then employed with Singapore Airlines. Candle Aid was formed with the purpose of alleviating poverty in Sri Lanka. It is modeled on the belief that every person can do something to help another irrespective of class, wealth, status. We have Captain Elmo Jayawardena, founder of Candle Aid, joining with us. Captain Jayawardena, let me first ask you this question. Candle Aid has been doing lots of good work in Sri Lanka. For somebody who does not know much about the good work your organization is doing, how would you briefly describe the work and your organization?
We call ourselves a link between somebody's generosity and another person's humanitarian need. So we started very small 17 years ago. Now we have grown well. We have 21 representatives around the world. And what we do is we have 3 sponsorship programs. That's the main, which is education, cancer, and destitute families. We find somebody somewhere in the world who wants to help a family so that they would sponsor such a family. And then we have a library project where we have 127 libraries all over the island. And we are a government-approved charity.
We also have Gerard Vijayratna, a representative of the Candle Aid in North America, with us. Gerard, tell us briefly about how you describe Candle Aid.
One of the things that I think initially drew me to the organization was that 100% of all donors' money go towards those specific programs. All of the administrative expenses are funded through separate initiatives or projects. So, rarely, I think it's Candle Aid is one of the few organizations, if not the only organization that I have seen, where 100% of all funds go towards a very targeted cause, a very neat cause. And I think that's a really great thing.
Captain Jayawardena, can you share with us a few stories of success?
There are so many. I'll pick up one. There was a young man called Mahendra Walpola, and he's from Ruwanwala. And I just by chance went to the office one day and I looked at some files and I saw this man. He looked weird with long hair. And for some reason, I don't know, I told the office, I want to see this man. 1 week later, I went to the office and there was this guy seated outside. And I asked, who's this guy? They said, well, that's the one you wanted to see. Oh, I see, right. So he and I went out and we spoke. And when I was speaking to him, I realized that he removed his shoes. First thing he did was that. And subsequently, somebody came to see me and I saw him taking a newspaper and reading, and he couldn't read, he couldn't see. So I said, can't see. He said, no, I can read when I hold it close. Then I said, from where you get the shoes? He said, I don't have shoes, so I borrowed a pair. This boy was doing mechanical engineering at the Katubetta campus, and I asked him, how many shirts do you have? He said, 2. How many trousers? 2. Now that was a mechanical engineering student. I didn't even ask him what he ate. I immediately took him in the car and got him shirts and got an eye appointment and everything. Of course, not my money, Candle Aid money. Cut a story short, he came up with an honors degree from Katubetta. Today, he's working for a Japanese company as a mechanical engineer in Mali. Now, that guy had 4 A's in his A-level from Ruwanwala. Another boy came from Katubetta, crippled boy who went to school at the age of 10, came to Katubetta with 1,000 rupees doing mechanical engineering. sponsored him right through. He ended up getting a super first class honors degree in mechanical engineering. I took his application to Singapore and went into NUS, and he received a scholarship for a fluid dynamics PhD. And today he's Dr. Bahalagidhara Jayatilaka. And there are many like this. I mean, out of all the students, of course, there are some people who succeeded and never looked back. That's just a different story. But basically, our education program had given a lot of children a chance to get a job and chance to better themselves.
One of your objectives, if I'm not mistaken, is to fight the poverty through education, health, shelter, food, and community development. Now, can you share one or two examples of how you have been successful in eradicating poverty, even in a small way?
Eradicating poverty is basically through the education program. Now, for example, we have huge figures on education. We have sponsored about 1,600 students. Now, out of that, 600 plus are university students. Now, all these people come from very poor backgrounds. We check all that. Now, once the guy finishes university, we not only stop there, we try to get him a job also, because as you know, in Sri Lanka, unless you have connections, you can't get a job. So, statistically, what we are doing, uplifting or eradicating poverty, is only through the education program, because you educate a man, try to get him a job. But the rest of it, like cancer project or destitute family project, does not eradicate poverty. It only gives care to somebody who is in need.
Gerard, could you tell us how you became interested in CandleAid in the first place and your journey with the organization up to now?
Sure. I guess my involvement with CandleAid actually started through my wife, who had, through some contact, come to hear of CandleAid at the time. She was a medical student in Texas, and I had sort of known her at the time, and she was doing sort of all sort of community projects, like doing sort of neighborhood car washes and funding drives to help CandleAid. So I was very intrigued to understand what the appeal was, and it's only that after that I met Uncle Elmo here that I really saw the authenticity, the transparency, and just the warm-hearted nature of all the great people who work in CandleAid, which really made the difference for me. And so that's kind of been my journey with sort of the inception of my journey with CandleAid, and over the years it's been an honor, a very humbling honor to be associated with a great grassroots association as CandleAid.
If any one of our listeners would like to support the CandleAid, how could they do that, and what are the options they have in terms of selecting what program they can support?
What happens is that you can go to the website and then write an email to CandleAid, and immediately they'll respond, and the website tells everything. You can download the forms, and then let's say that one thing we don't do is we don't differentiate between religions and races. So if you want a student, we'll find you 3 or 4 students, and then you can pick up one. And in the website also there are students posted there saying this one's background is this, father is not there, mother is a rubber tapper, or all the details, and then they can pick up a student from there. And also, if you want to sponsor a cancer patient, you just write to CandleAid. It's all in the website. And important thing is the sponsorship is basically for 1 year, so that if you don't like the way we work, you can opt out. And that is a very important thing for a sponsor, because you don't want to be in a position where you have to be sending money without knowing what is happening to it. So far we haven't had sponsors dropping off, simply because we've always proven that their trust was upheld.
Gerard, do you have anything else to add as the North American representative?
Yeah, one other thing to add to that is that, it's not just the matter of a sponsor funding a scholarship program or a cancer patient or providing food. There is a level of engagement and interaction with the sponsor. So, for instance, on scholarships, sponsors are provided with progress reports on grades, and also the students write to the sponsors, which is one of the most heartwarming things you can receive as a sponsor, is to read some of these letters, and it just it's incredibly humbling, and it's incredibly shows you how incredibly impactful it can be, how such a small amount of money can make such an impact in a person's life.
Captain Jayawardena, I'm sure there are days or times that you feel so discouraged and frustrated with either the support you are getting or the work getting done or whatever. At the same time, I'm sure you probably many times must have experienced some incident that make you want to continue the work you are doing, that inspire you, that you feel good about, and all the efforts you are taking to make the work go forward. Could you share one or two such experiences if you can?
Things happen the way I want. I make it so, right? Because, as I always say, that I carried 400 passengers in aeroplane, but I will not carry a single passenger in Candlelight, right? So you work as a volunteer, you do your job. No, the thing is, the setbacks may be one or two, but we are not involved with the government or any religious body. We just operate independently. And the rewards are so many. Every morning, if I go to the office, if I am here, I can change the lives of 5 people. The people who come there, and it takes only a telephone call. About a month ago, I was driving to the office with my wife. There were 2 boys walking on the same lane, and one was holding the other by the shoulder. Then I told my wife, she said, they are blind. And I knew where they were going. They were going to our office. So when I went there, they came in. One's father was a laborer in Ratnapura. The other one was from foreigner. The mother was rubber tapping, and there was no path. 2 blind boys from the university. And I spoke to them, and it took me only 1 telephone call to a friend, and both boys were sponsored. So you can just imagine how much of a change. And I told those boys, please go and tell your parents, Ammada Karunagala kiyanne kenek karunaවක් මට පෙන්නුවා. මෙන්න මෙහෙම ආයතනයකින් තමයි මට උදව් කරන්නේ. I just try to think of that mother, the rubber tapper, thinking, this my son who I have brought up so deep with all the difficulties, who made it to the university, is now being helped. One of those is enough for me to drive another extra gear.
Where would you like to see the Candlelight in 5 years' time?
So, very good question. People ask me, I tell you what Candlelight is like. Candlelight is like on a clear blue sky, a cloud rolling. That's what no shape, but it's slowly moving, and it doesn't care where it goes. Because if I close Candlelight tomorrow, I have still done 17 years of service. So we don't have great aspirations. We only want to do what we can do, and we continue to do that. And I think an organization like this will always find a way to move. Not with great plans, Don't forget, our whole idea is that it's better to light one solitary candle than curse the darkness. That's what it was all about, and that's what it is all about.
Thank you very much for joining with us, Captain Jayawardena and Mr. Wijeratne. We wish you all the best in all your endeavors. That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of News, Views and Entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.